Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about drone drop for February 2019. Last month was a little iffy for drone drop, so I'm hoping this is going to be better. Want to see what's inside? Stick around. Alright guys, last month for drone drop was a little bit lackluster. It really wasn't that great, and it kind of was barely breaking even. If you haven't seen already, you can check the card up there, and you'll see my review of the January 2019 drone drop. So it's now February, we got our February box, and we're going to take a look and see what's inside. Now if you're new around here, maybe you want to hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. It just makes finding my videos a little bit easier and helps support the channel. So get down there, hit that subscribe button. So here's what we're going to do. Going to bring you up in close. We'll do this unboxing live. We'll take a look at it because I do all my unboxings live. I don't unbox it, look at it, and then later on put it back in the box and then pretend to unbox it to you guys. I'd like you to see my initial reactions as I see them as we go. So that's the way I like to do it. So, why don't you come in close, and we'll crack this guy open. Drone drop box, we give it a flipperoo, and we're going to give it a little bit of a cut. And I'm noticing they are using the shipping label as the sealing thing, so that might be the new thing to save money on ways of sealing the box. But we cut it. Little pre-open, flip it over. And here we go. Cool deal. All right, so let's start off with what we see here. We first start off with some sticker sheets. Pretty cool stuff. Looking awesome. Nice glossy kind of a sticker too versus the velvety one, so it's a little different style. Nice. Coming in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do we got here right on top? Looks like we got some motors. They are 2207s, 2450 kV, drone drop edition, bow cutters. How do you go wrong with that? Well, I guess they could really suck, but still, they're trying to make a good comeback here because I'm seeing 4 luscious motors. That's going to be pretty good. Look at this motor. Let's take a look at one real quick here, just to see what we're looking at. Ooh. Looks like they're going to be in an orange color. At least that's what I'm receiving. Let's see here. There we go. Looking pretty spiffy in orange. Liking that. Feels a little bit coggy, but overall pretty smooth. We'll have to give them a whirl and see how they go. But the fact that we're getting some motors now, that makes for a very happy Tronage. Loving when we get motors because that's high value. All right, what else we got? Now I'm excited. All right, we got some props here. Orange to match the orange, which is pretty cool. These are Gemfan Hurricane style. They're the 51499s. I believe we got these previously. Because I remember that 51499 and saying, why don't they just make it 5150s? But I guess maybe there's some magic with the 499. So, but we'll see how that all goes. We got 3 packs of those. What else we got here? We got some mounting tape. This is actually cool. This is Scotch Brands 3M. So it's not any of the, fakey China stuff. This is for mounting your ESCs to your arms if you want. It's a nice narrow width, but it's the outdoor really adhesive mounting tape. So that actually is pretty useful as a little tool action. We have a Lipo battery checker. We received one of these A similar one, I don't remember. Oh, my pin's a little bent. Let me just give that a little nudge back into squareness. We received a similar one of these in one of the boxes previous. It had like a little plastic housing on it, so it's always good to have a little checker to check what your voltages are on your battery pack, so that's pretty cool. And I actually need one of these for a project I'm working on because I end up killing my battery, so I need one that was nice as, yeah, it's got the little button on the top here. See that little button? Little button there on the top there, when you click that, that actually lets you set what you want your minimum voltages to be, so you can have this be like an alarm when your voltage gets too low, which is really good. And, oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Not sure how I feel about this one, but it's a glue gun. It's a little glue gun that's set to be run off of an XT60 connector. So we can run this in the field when we're like doing whatever, but the reason why I'm having a little mixed feeling about it is because I'm never out in the field going, man, I wish I had a glue gun. But then again, I have seen people whose quads look like they're held together by hot glue. So I guess maybe in a pinch, you crash, you break an arm, you can like hot glue it just to get through a race or something. So that's why I'm saying a little bit mixed emotion. It's not a necessity, it's more like maybe a luxury, but it's still a cool item to have a freaking hot gun, glue gun, that you can run off an XT60 connector. The only thing I would have liked is maybe some like glue sticks, because now if I want to use this, I have to go buy glue sticks and I have to get the right size, because these look small. They look like the smaller size. And also, I don't see any indication if this is the low temp or the regular temp hot glue. I'm going to go with this, probably the normal, and a little on-off switch too, which is kind of cute. And just off you go. To recap, we have a glue gun. We got some baggies from other things. We have some mounting tape. We have the Lipo checker. We have 3 sets of props and these wonderful 1, 2, 3, count them, 4, and some little baggy stuff. Motors to go with, and of course, the sticker sheet. Let me run some numbers and let's see if this makes up for it. All right, the numbers are in. Here you go. So, at first, I was kind of excited about this box, but now we'll get into like the nitty gritty of kind of where it leaves me with a little bit of a question mark, but it's still pretty a good value. But we'll go line by line. So first, let's start with the Gemfan Hurricane props. Now, these are actually the identical props that we got in Quad Box December 2018. Why is that significant? Because that was also the box that we got motors in. So it's sort of like Drone Drop did a little like, oh, me too. So they kind of reenacted the Quad Box from December now, which I ain't gonna complain, is pretty cool. But these are the exact same props. The only difference was the ones I received in the Quad Box were like a purpley maroon color, and these are orange. But other than that, they're the same prop. So moving on down to the double-sided tape. So now, this was actually kind of hard to find because there really was no identifiers on this, what it was or anything. But it's essentially, they're non-clear. It's like a grayish black color type foam mounting tape. Usually, it's kind of used for exteriors of cars to like mount stuff to it. So it's pretty high strength, and that's why it works great for us using it on our ESCs. This is about, by the looks of the reel, I mean, I don't know, there's no indication, but I think it's about 3 meters worth of tape, and it is 15 millimeters wide, 1.5 centimeters, if you will. And really it ranges in price broadly, and I think it's more of like, if you want that specific one and you want to get it locally, they're kind of gouging the price, because it was like, I was finding prices in like the $15, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. But if you go, looking at eBay overseas, getting it from China, it's like $2, $3, which seems more reasonable for a roll of tape. So I went with the price that seemed kind of reasonable versus, anything else. Now, the glue gun, I actually found it cheaper on a couple other websites, and a couple other websites that included glue sticks with it. So the price you see on the thing here is more the price that was from the Team Black Sheep website, but it is available slightly cheaper elsewhere, and some of them include glue sticks. Now, one thing to note that I was reading about is it says that this is really designed for a 3S pack to be used reliably. and it can be used with a 4S pack, but for short periods of time. To me, that means it's really designed for a 3S pack. If you put a 4S on here, because of the higher voltage, it's going to get hotter and it may self-destruct, melt itself. I don't know, but it sounded like you really shouldn't use a 4S for more than a quick, fast repair and then turn it back off. So it's really more for 3S packs. Some of you will probably not have a 3S pack in your bag to run this with. So if you do use a 4S pack with it, just according to the website, just use it quickly and then turn it back off so it doesn't overheat. The Lipo checker, again, another quad box kind of copy thing. I think it was from Quad Box we got. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was Quad Box though. But you know, dime a dozen, couple of bucks for one of these guys. Maybe cheap, but it is something very useful to have, especially if you're doing any kind of bench work with a Lipo, because you can set what you want your minimum voltage to be. You plug this onto your balance tap, and then if you walk away and you forget and you leave that battery running, this will eventually alarm off once it gets to a low voltage to remind you, hey, dummy, you left a pack sitting on a thing. And I've done that a couple times in a row. We've all been there, we've all done that, and I've had to throw away a couple Lipo packs. So this will become my dedicated one to preventing me from having that happen in the future. And lastly, these motors. Now, I probably will have put a little annotation when I say the bow cutters, because I didn't realize the X on it was an X. I thought it was like a little symbol. They're box cutters is the name of the motor. However, I can't find them anywhere. So I don't know if like maybe Drone Drop has like their own motor that they're coming out with, and that's what these are, is the Drone Drop brand box cutter, since it is a mystery box. And I don't know. But what I do know is they're pretty much the same, at least, you know, the 2207, 2450 kV. They're kind of like the DYS Samguk Wii motors. That's the dark blue ones, the ones that I use in the TBB Quad, the Tronage budget build, which puts all $99 builds to shame. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out up there. It will not disappoint you. It's a long video, but I go from start to finish of building a quad, and it's going to be the most affordable, cheapest build that's out there and does not leave you hanging. It performs like a beast. Anyway, so since the stats are about the same, and I can't find any place to buy these motors so that I could find out a price for them, it made my life very difficult. So what I decided was the cost here, the $39.96, is essentially the price of the Wii motors, the Samguk Wii motors, which I consider to be the best budget motor. So that would be the worst case scenario for these motors. If they're as cheap as those are, then the price stands. If these are actually worth more, then that's just gravy on top. However, since I don't know if these are worth more than that, they could be, you know, $15 motors, they could be $20 motors. I could not find them. So I'm just going to say they're good, cheap motors for now. So I figure it's safe to say worst case scenario. And if it turns out that they are a more expensive motor, that's just bonus to you guys. So overall, looking down at the bottom here, it doesn't seem like it's that, I mean, when you open it and you see motors, you get super excited. Now, when you look at the bottom here and you look at the cost and you see that it's like for a one-time subscription, it's like $5 or $6 over the cost. And for a subscriber, it's like $15 or $16 over the cost. It doesn't seem like that much. But here's that caveat, that but. That's hinging on these motors. If these motors are equivalent in price, value, and performance to the Samguk series of motors, specifically the Wii motor, which is their kind of like the closest competitor, then the numbers stand. If it turns out that these motors are actually a higher ticket item, then those numbers will increase by that much. So I would say, as is, it is a definite acceptable box. It gives me like a woohoo feeling compared to the last month's box, because there's a lot of stuff in here that I feel like I could use. The only question mark really was this glue gun, and I kind of see how it sort of fits in. It just sucks that I'd have to buy some glue sticks for it. I wish they came with it, and then I would like kind of be like, yeah, cool, glue gun. But to give me something that I have to buy something for, it kind of obligates me to making that purchase, which I wouldn't have had to make if I didn't receive the item in the first place, if I intend to use it, if that makes any sense. So I think this was a decent box. This wasn't a knock it out of the park box like the quad box was from December with those blaster motors in there, because that was just kind of a really high ticket item. But who knows? These motors could be a high ticket item, and if so, then that just makes this even better. So I'm satisfied with this, and I'm not upset by it. And I'm really excited to try these motors because if they perform really good and they're affordable, hey, although I don't really know where to buy them yet. So I guess that kind of, I don't know. I don't know where I stand with this, but there's your numbers. You can form your own decision. So as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong.